Previously, we provided the AI knowledge about who we are and what we're working on. Though that's a good start, it's static. It doesn't change as we work. The AI doesn't know the preferences we set or the problems we solved yesterday. Memory does not persist. Every conversation starts without history. What we need is a way for the AI to accumulate lessons as we work, a working memory that grows over time. Let's build that. In chat, I'll paste, I want this project to have memory. The agent should accumulate lessons as we work, errors we hit, workarounds we find, and decisions made that should stick across sessions. When I ask what you know about a topic, you should be able to tell me. When we wrap up a session, you should summarize what you learned so I can correct anything that's off. Set that up in a way that makes sense to you and that fits with the steering files we already have. Seed it with 3 things I already know I care about. I prefer PowerShell over command prompt. I want you to confirm before installing any software, and don't use hooks at this time. Hooks are something we'll cover in later videos. Notice what I did and didn't do. I didn't tell the agent what to name the file. I didn't tell it where to put it. I didn't specify section headers or a template. I told it what I wanted memory for, and I let it handle the rest. And notice how I said I'd verify it. I didn't say, I'll open the file and proofread it. I said, tell me what you know and I'll correct you. My interface to memory is this conversation window, not the file. The file is where the agent stores things between sessions. I verify through dialogue, not through proofreading. If you're following along in your own environment, the agent might handle the process we just went through differently. AI is non-deterministic. The same input may result in different output. The model makes micro decisions about structure and placement, and those decisions vary. That's not a bug, that's just the nature of AI. Let's address session history. Kiro already has built-in session history. If you click the History button in the chat panel, you can browse past conversations. But this history is not accessible by the AI agent. It's a human-only interface. I'll paste in chat, set up session logging for this project, create a folder and naming convention for session logs, then write the first one covering what we've done so far in this chat session. The log should include what we've accomplished, what's still pending, and anything a future me might need as a reminder. In the future, I'll use session logs to ask about past work. The agent will search the logs and bring back what's relevant. This will help both me and the AI to get up to speed on current tasks. We've now created 3 markdown files that work together. Profile.md from a previous video tells the AI who I am. Memory.md, which we built earlier in this video, gives the AI a growing memory. And the session log, which we just defined, stores history. Look at how they're structured. Profile.md is set to always. It loads into every chat. Memory.md right now is also set to always, but I'll change it to auto temporarily. Auto means the agent loads it when it decides the conversation needs it. Choosing auto is defensible if I expect to open brief chats for simple things that don't need project context, like help drafting an email. The session log has no inclusion setting at all. It's one of many logs the agent will accumulate, and it gets searched when prompted. So that gives us 3 layers. Layer 1 is loaded every time. That's inclusion always. Layer 2 is pulled when the agent thinks the conversation calls for it. That's inclusion auto. Layer 3 doesn't have an inclusion option. It's a searchable archive of past sessions. These 3 layers allow us to provide the AI with necessary resources while managing context window size. For my purposes, I'll set the memory.md document back to always. Neither a memory file nor a session file fills itself. We'll need to establish a discipline of creating a log at the end of each working session. In chat, I'll paste, set up a wrap-up protocol. When I say let's wrap up, or any clear variant, review what we did this session and decide what belongs where. Lessons that should apply across all future sessions go into memory. What we accomplished, what's still pending, and where to pick up go into a new session log. Report back what you filed so I can correct anything that's off. Encode this so it persists across all sessions. The agent decides what qualifies as a durable lesson versus session state. It handles the categorization and reports back. If something's off, I correct it right here. Same pattern as before. Dialogue, not file reading. Of course, you don't have to wait until the end of a session to log important findings. If something notable happens mid-session, a bug, a workaround, a decision, capture it on the spot. Here, I'm instructing Kiro to set up a checkpoint protocol. When I say checkpoint, or any clear variants like save this or note that, capture whatever I just described as a durable lesson in memory. If I don't specify what to save, review what just happened and decide what's worth keeping. Report back what you filed so I can correct anything that's off. Encode this so it persists across all sessions. Note that the protocol is still manual in one sense. I have to remember to deploy the catchphrases. I'll do that now. Let's wrap up. Note that Kiro goes through its end of session activities. Kiro added information to the memory markdown document, including its decision to add a wrap-up markdown document and a checkpoint markdown document. Kiro also created a session log and added a one-liner to the memory markdown document regarding that session log. I'll close down this chat session, and in a new chat session type, what did we work on most recently? Note that Kiro included the steering documents and then referenced the session log markdown file. By checking memory and session logs, I get up to speed and Kiro gets up to speed. That's memory. A few minutes of setup and your agent grows as your project grows.